All right. Hi, everybody. This is Tyler Brumfield. This is my wife, Brittany. I'm going to try and give her a persuasive speech on how to use well, not how to use, but actually to try and move her more into the bow range over a rifle in certain instances. She was an MP for a while of security force, so we both did law enforcement for the military. So we're both pretty well equipped and well versed in different kinds of guns. She's not that big in archery yet. I'm trying to get her there, but we'll see what we can do. So that's why we made this PowerPoint on why you need a bow. So just a quick summary over is history, because history is important. We all need to know it. How far it dates back? It's about 20,000 BC, so you need to definitely tell it's a technology that's been advanced over the years. The earliest is known in history of the Egyptians back in 3000 BC with their horses and the reed curve bows. China doing some things. And actually, the Japanese have a martial arts that they call Kyujutsu. I'm going to mess that up. Or Kudo is the art of the way of the bow. So it's going to...
Definitely not kudos.
It's not kudos?
It was not kudos, but nice try.
It is what it is. So, bows and pop culture. So another thing that a lot of people are coming to bring in is everybody wants to imitate their heroes or whatever. So we actually have, I know that we've talked about different kind of bows before and you didn't know which kind you wanted. Well, to use a reference in pop culture, we have Robin Hood here, who's using a long bow, and we're going to get there. We have Hawkeye, who's actually using a recurve bow. I know that's one that you found interested in. Green Arrow using a compound bow, which is one that I find interesting. And Darlin Dixon, I'm going to call him Darling because he's Darling.
Or you're just doing dice-dated.
Anyway, I'm not sure. So Dixon using a crossbow. So one way to try and push you into actually using a bow over a rifle is, how is a bow beneficial? Well, it's silent. There's no law of restriction. So there's no class 3, no class 3 license that are needed for like suppressors or large capacity magazines or anything of that nature. Also, there's not going to be a third sear pin because it's a one shot, one pull kind of thing. In an apocalypse, if you run out of ammunition, everybody talks about wanting to have a gun in the zombie apocalypse. But if you run out of arrows, you can sit there and whittle down a piece of stick and make your own.
You definitely have time to do that.
You do have time to do that.
Okay.
You have all the time in the world to do that whenever your team has actually set up camp somewhere and you have a nice little fortification. So, take part in something that shaped history. Bows have been a huge part of how history is made today, and it's something that you can also put into, especially during an apocalypse, because then we're reshaping history. Yes, son, come here. Come on. You want to learn about bows too? Come here. So, archery is fun and challenging experience. Come here. Archery is fun and challenging experience. Good for kids of all ages. And then you can use soft tips, or you can play bow tag with your friends whenever he's older. We actually get him out here with like a little recurve bow or something like that, and he can shoot his friends with it, and it won't penetrate or hurt them, which is good. And then there's a bow for every person. And that's what we're about to get into, the long bow. I know you didn't think much about this one. You didn't really talk much about it. But the long bow is good for like suppressive things. So usually you see them on top of a castle or something like that, and they'll fire a volley of arrows downrange to try and take out their target. Not really with the most accuracy, but if you look, you can definitely tell that with 150 to 180 pounds of draw force, probably not the best. Also, maximum range is 400 yards. So I mean, if you want to start working on them, the shoulder shrugs, maybe. But I know that's not going to be in your wheelhouse. Recurve bow came into being around 10,000 BC, definitely a lot smaller. Maximum effective range is somewhere between 20 to 80 yards. The maximum range that one of these have actually reached their target was at 283 meters. And it's good for youth or whatever. It's good for youth or adults because you can do it from 15 to 70 pounds. Good job, buddy. Thank you. So 15 to 70 pounds. So depending on how your jaw is, you'll get your measurements on all that good stuff. And you can figure out, how tall you need the bow to be, how you need the strength of the draw to be, exactly what you want to shoot at. I know that's super interesting to you, right? You want to sleep on me? Anyway, so, and also it's used as direct targeting, so you see your target, you take it out. It's not so you use so much as a suppressive weapon, and they have different kind of composites that's made out of nowadays. So it's not all wood. So it is a little bit more balanced out with.
Oh look, it looks like the one that you have.
It
They
is
spend a lot of money on that you can't use in England. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the kind that I have that I like people to try and use. It's compound. You can definitely tell this is not exactly like the one I have. It is made by Bear, but mine has 2 cams. This one has a cam here and a pulley up there, which means a lot of the force is actually pulled from down here, and this is just kind of a, sustainable. So your draw is from 10 to 90 pounds. That's a lot of force. I know, crazy, right? Effective range 20 to 80 yards. Again, max is 283. Your functionality is usually used for hunting. I only got to do that a couple times, and I can't do that here in England.
Because they have those things that you said they don't have anywhere else. Laws,
restrictions. The restrictions.
Yeah, go on.
I'm just saying they're not the same kind of laws and restrictions they have against like guns, because you can't even own a gun in this country. You can own a bow, but you can't do anything with it because apparently it's inhumane, even though it causes more hemorrhaging than a rifle round. But anyway, so direct targeting is on usage. Anyway, so the reason I like the compound bow, and I think you would like it the most, is because you can adjust the drawstring on it with this one bow, right? I know, right? Your enthusiasm just got me going. So you got your riser here. So from your riser, you can actually release or tighten down the limbs, which are these things right here. So you release or tighten them down depending on how much draw strength you want to have. If you want to have 10 draw strength, then you go ahead and release that out pretty far. You can replace this buffer right here with a fishing line if you want to go fishing with your bow. Wow. I know. Being from Florida, that would be pretty fun, right? Go out there gigging the flounders or whatever. So you have your pins. Usually they have 3 or 4, and you can adjust those to different yardage depending on how you want your thing to go. And then right here, somewhere on the cam, there actually should be a measurement depending on where your draw strength or where your draw length is.
What if I'm left-handed?
If you're left-handed like myself, then they actually have left-handed risers.
Thank you.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you can have a left-handed riser. This one's a right-handed riser with Whisper Biscuit. So that's not going to be exactly what you want. Actually, it is left-handed. Yep, it is left-handed. Crazy. So there's a lot of different things that go into this, and then of course you have your quiver. You have your quiver on the back that's going to help out with holding more arrows and all that good stuff. So, and then of course everyone knows about the crossbow. It's the easiest thing to use. Knowing how to handle a rifle and a pistol, all you do is you cock this thing back, pull the trigger, look down the sight, boom, you're on target. As long as you're within 20 to 80 yards. That seems to be the average thing for arrows and all that good stuff. So your draw is going to be 150 to 200 pounds, even though you're not feeling that. Because another thing I need to bring up, look at me. Another thing I need to bring up is with the crossbow, whenever you're at full draw, you're not feeling that 10 to 90 pounds. You're not feeling that 10 to 90 pounds. You're only feeling about maybe 5 to 6 pounds on the back end. And then with the recurve and the longbow, as soon as you pull back one of those and you're holding that, you're feeling every bit of that 15 to 70 pounds. So if you have a 70-pound draw on your recurve, you're feeling 70. If you have a 70-pound draw on a compound, you're feeling maybe 5. It makes it easier to hold on to target, and it makes it easier to actually shoot or release after sustained holding, especially in hunting situations. There's a wolf down there. So, yeah, go that. So with crossbows, you don't have to worry about any of that. You literally just cock it back.
Got it.
And it's literally just a compound bow just on its side. So
Go.
with compound bow on its side, you pull it, you release the bolt, fires out, good to go. Anyway, and so these are some sources that I went through. But so what are your thoughts on that so far? Would you like to try and look more into archery, or would you want to stay strictly with firearms?
I buy a crossbow.
Why would you buy a crossbow?
It's easy.
It's easy?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason you don't, there's nothing else besides it's easy?
It's easy to get done what I need to get done.
And what is it that you need to get done?
Hunt or kill someone.
Hunt or kill something.
Oh, something.
Murder and homicide are illegal.
not good with the body.
Anyway, So you'd rather use a crossbow over the compound recurve or longbow because you could.
It'd be easier to load and to do all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there are different methods that actually cock it back.
And the fact is that a sight?
It is a sight, yes.
Oh wow! There you go. I'm sold.
You're sold?
I'm sold.
Okay. Anyway, all right. Well, I do appreciate you coming in today. I'm glad that you found a bow that fits you and your style. I know archery can be a kind of a scary deal, and there's a lot of different. And there's
Is it because I'm a woman?
No, it's not because you're a woman. Don't make me a sexist. Anyway, there's a lot of different types of bows out there.
Yeah, I've seen pink ones and blue ones. And then what about all the different like arrows? Aren't there different like tail fins that do like different things?
Well, I mean, we can talk about that real quick. If you look right here, this is a 3-prong, actually mechanically flex broadhead.
That's when you pull out, it does more damage than if you just leave it in.
Yes, because these little fins right here will actually go in and lock in.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Cool.
but you can pretty much interchange broadheads between all three,
That's awesome.
except for the longbow. I don't think they make newer broadheads for those. And there's a whole weird variety of broadheads on that have different objectives and different things that they do. So I do appreciate you and your time, and yeah, you have fun. Thanks. Bye.
All right, let's get